Hello, friends. Welcome back to Aaron's Anxiety. I am your host, Aaron, your personal guide to anxiety. Cigar? Do you mind if I smoke a cigar? I feel very distinguished when I have this cigar, man. I have no... A customer gave me a cigar. I don't know much about cigars. I don't know. Anyways, I felt cool holding it, so I think I'm gonna leave it in here. Anytime I feel like a loser, I'll just go, you know what? I don't think so. Got my stogie. So I have one heck of an update, okay, as far as my anxiety goes, and so many times on this channel I've had to tell people and talk people off of a cliff, or I've had to tell them, hey, you know what, there's a lot of ups and downs in your recovery journey, and that's exactly what it is it's a journey, okay? There's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be a lot of things you didn't expect to happen, and sometimes, even when you think you're out of the woods, your anxiety will come humble you a little bit, okay? But overall, we all get to a place where things are mostly great, okay? And that is fantastic, okay? So, now it's time for story time, okay? This is what happened to me over this past weekend. I live in northern Indiana. Wanted to take a trip with my dad, just me and Papa Bear. And we were going to take a motorcycle trip. And we were going to go north up to Mackinac City and Mackinac Island. And so we decided we were going to take our motorcycles. So we hop on our motorcycles. And we are looking for a run and headed on the highway. Like, I felt cool, okay? It was great. I had my music playing, and we're cruising down the road. And somewhere, probably around the Grand Rapids area, a little bit past Grand Rapids, there was this point where we're cruising, and we were booking, like we were cooking. And I had the music playing, and we were doing about 80, and we're going through all these cars. And I had, for the first time in probably 2 years, what felt like an anxiety attack. Okay, it wasn't the full-blown attacks like I used to have back in the day, but I felt really uncomfortable. And this, keep in mind, I'm doing 80 on a motorcycle. Okay, I felt really uncomfortable. I felt really weird. I felt a rush of those feelings that I felt disassociated, which is the worst when you have an anxiety attack. You feel like disassociation, where, oh, am I me? What's going on? That kind of thing. Whew, that was not good. I get anxiety talking about it. You guys will notice that too. That's another thing that I've talked about with people. Have you ever noticed when you talk about anxiety, it gives you anxiety? So, yeah. And so since then, we were going down the road. I pulled off into a little rest area, and my dad goes, "What's up, man?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just having anxiety. I haven't had like legit like harsh anxiety for quite some time. It's been, almost a couple years now, and here it is." And I'm trying to say it's getting a little warm in here. So he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, can we back it down? Let's back the speed down. Can we back it down to like, 60? And so we did that, and it was better. And then by the time I got to Mackinac City, I was a little frazzled, okay? I was done being on the bike. It was dark. It was cold. It was kind of rainy a little bit. It was very uncomfortable, but we got there nonetheless. And when I was there, I was really dreading getting back on the bike, okay? And I knew that I had to, obviously, got to go home. And it was just one of those things where I could feel, my brain starting to create this phobia towards the bike. And it's now, and I was telling my wife, now that I've already been down the road of anxiety, my anxiety was there, but it was a different kind of there. It was a there that was, hey, I've already been through this before. This is nothing new to me. I can handle this. I can tackle this. And so at one point we were thinking, maybe we'll just have our wives bring up a trailer, and then they can spend the day with us, and then we'll just trailer the bikes back, and then keep my anxiety down, and we won't be cold and yada yada. And so I was really thinking about that, but then I thought about you guys, and I thought, what would I recommend to you guys, or to obviously to myself in this situation. And I did it, it made me uncomfortable, but I said, you know what, I cannot create avoidance behavior. I know exactly what this is, so let's tackle it exactly how I know it needs to be tackled. And that's what I did. And we spent the day on Mackinac Island, had a good time, and then the next day we got back on the bikes and we headed back home. It was not easy, okay, getting back on the bike, but it was important to show my brain, hey, I know, because it was scary. It makes sense that it was scary. That's the other side of the coin. I don't fault my subconscious brain for being nervous and having anxiety about it. Because like I said, I was on a motorcycle doing 80 miles an hour, weaving through cars trying to get around everybody, which is dumb. Don't do that. But all the same, I get it. I get why it was afraid. But on the ride home, I had to prove to myself that this bike has nothing to do with my anxiety. This is my motorcycle. I love my motorcycle. I don't get to ride it enough, but so that's exactly what I did. And it was not the easiest thing, but I talked myself through it. Like I always tell people, talk to yourself, because it is a subconscious problem, and your conscious brain needs to tell your subconscious brain what's going on, and that's very important. And that's what I did. I mean, we tracked about 740 miles on motorcycles. Now keep in mind, I am a weekend warrior, okay? I am not one of the people that, I go to the bike all the time, even if it's above freezing, I'm on it. No, I am a fair weather rider, okay? I don't pay the money to be uncomfortable, okay? It's one of the few things I love, all right? So, I made it, got back home, and since then, here's the big part. Here's the interesting part for me. Since then, my anxiety has been raised a little bit. I've been having more of those moments, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that the moments you'll be fine, and all of a sudden you feel tense, you feel shortness of breath, you feel a little shallow breathing, and then you'll always notice, anytime you have anxiety, always notice that you have shallow breathing. It always happens. You have anxiety, you start breathing small, shorter breaths. That's when you have to take the bigger breaths, deep breathe, and then I haven't gotten close to disassociating again, which that is great. I'm so grateful for that, because in the original anxiety problems that I was having, I was terrified to disassociate because it's such a scary feeling, and I always felt like I was on the edge of that. And I don't have that this time around, and I think it's because now I have better coping mechanisms and better ways to go about things. So here's the big kicker. Here's where we separate the children from adults here, okay? Any child can go, oh, I feel bad, I feel bad, I feel bad, I feel bad. But it takes an adult mindset to say, okay, we feel bad, now what do we do about it? Okay, we have to solve this problem, not just admit that there's a problem. So for me, what I did as soon as I got home, I ate the rest of the fudge, because, Mackinac Island, it's delicious fudge. So I ate the rest of the fudge, which I'm glad I got it out. It was expensive. But I decided that, okay, I'm going to start going to bed a little bit earlier. I'm going to start drinking more water. I'm going to cut off the caffeine. I should say back. I'm going to cut off the caffeine as much as possible. And I'm going to try to clean up my diet a little bit and start eating a little bit better. And these are I'm telling you, it works every time. These are the things that when I do them, they fix all these little things that pop up as far as anxiety goes, as far as shortness of breath and those feelings of, oh, am I going to disassociate, or piece yours in there, okay? Because I know everybody's is a little different, but how we treat anxiety is going to be the exact same, okay? So that's where I'm at. So here's also what I'm going to do. I am on, as everyone knows, 2.5 milligrams of Lexapro, and at such a low dosage, you're not really getting a whole lot, okay? They say that a therapeutic dosage is what they'll recommend, is 10 milligrams when you're on Lexapro. That's when you're really gonna kind of dial a lot of stuff down and dabble it back. And so a lot of times doctors will recommend you start at 10 or 5 in the progression of moving to 10. So where I'm at, because I feel like it's already in my system, and my anxiety isn't insane by any means, I'm not crippled up in my bed, but it is heightened lately, and it's the random anxiety is what you want to take care of, okay? You should have anxiety if you're doing 80 miles an hour on a motorcycle. You should have anxiety if there's a lion in the bush next to you. That stuff makes sense. But when you're just randomly chilling out, cool, and all of a sudden, oh, I feel this rush of anxiety, that's what we need to combat, okay? So what I'm doing is, as you guys know, I like to split up my pills. So as opposed, I can't really split up at 2.5 milligrams, you know what I mean? I could, but it'd be teeny tiny, 1.25. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna bump up to 5 milligrams, which, like I said, it's nothing crazy. My body won't go into anything. It won't have any giant side effects or anything. I'll just, again, I've done this before. It'll just kind of feel like everything is kind of, you know, lift some of this weight off of my shoulders. And what I'm gonna do is, like I used to do, take 2.5 at 10 in the morning and 2.5 at 5 at night. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, okay? I'm gonna keep you guys updated as I go, because just because I'm out of the crazy thicket, that doesn't mean that some things aren't gonna have triggers, okay? And I feel like this is a really important video. And when I was having these problems this past weekend, I was thinking, I need to tell everybody about this, because it's probably the most anxiety I've had since my recovery, okay? And so it's important to tell you guys, because this world is, there's so much going on, and our brains are trying to keep track of everything all the time. And so it's important to know that, hey, this isn't the perfect system. We're working on the perfect system, okay? But overall, if we can get you into a safe place into your brain, that's where we want to be. And now my brain has regressed a little bit since I had something frightening happen to me, okay? A little bit of trauma, okay? And call it trauma if you want to, but a little bit of something that traumatized my brain just a little bit, and it kind of regressed a little bit. So, but I'm going to keep you guys updated as it's going. I'm sure it won't take but maybe a week for this to kind of subside. But if it does, I'm going to keep you guys along for the journey no matter what, because just as much as I love being a part of your guys' life and journey and hearing your guys' story of success, I want to give out mine too, and I appreciate you guys listening to that, absolutely. So, alrighty friends, until next time, I'm still happy, I still love you, and I'm Aaron, and you're awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.